Reid Wiseman is a spacecraft commander. He's flown over 50 countries, fighter jets, 6 months on the International Space Station. He is not a man who gets rattled. And yet, on April 6, 2026, as his ship slides behind the far side of the moon, he goes quiet, can't speak, stares out the window, and after a long pause, says only this: "I don't think humanity has evolved to the point of being able to comprehend what we were looking at right now. I'm going to show you exactly what those 4 people saw, and I'm going to show you why, even with thousands of photographs, not one of them has been able to fully describe it. To understand why this mission is different from everything that came before it, you need to know one thing. Humans haven't walked on the moon since 1972. Before most of the people watching this video were born. 54 years. More than half a century of sending robots, probes, orbiters, but not people. Never people. Then, on April 1st, 2026, 4 astronauts, Reid Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen, climbed aboard the SLS rocket at Kennedy Space Center. And for the first time in over 50 years, humans left low Earth orbit. Not to land on the moon, this was a test flight. The goal: confirm that the Orion spacecraft can keep people alive in deep space. On paper, an engineering mission. In practice, maybe the most visually spectacular thing humans have ever filmed in the history of spaceflight. Their rocket, the SLS, generates 8.8 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. For reference, the Saturn V, the rocket that took Apollo astronauts to the moon, produced 7.6 million. The SLS is more powerful. They need it, because their journey is 695,000 miles long. The first hours are technical: tests, system checks, orbital maneuvers. But right from the start, they see something nobody had quite prepared them for. Earth. Koch would later describe it like this: "You look out the window and Earth is just there, in all its blue-white beauty. And around it is nothing but blackness. No transition, no gradient. The planet just ends, and beyond it, nothing. I knew Earth was fragile," she said, "but when you see it like that, you're not hearing about it, you're not reading about it. You're just seeing it, small, alone, glowing, and something in you breaks." 2 days after launch, Orion's engines fire for 5 minutes and 55 seconds. This maneuver is called the trans-lunar injection. It's the moment the spacecraft leaves Earth's orbit for good. Earth starts to shrink. The moon's gravity takes over. There's no going back, no extra fuel. Only the moon's gravity will swing them around and bring them home. This is called a free return trajectory, a ballistic arc calculated to the millimeter. If something goes wrong, they'll still come back, in theory. Apollo 13 is proof that even free return trajectories don't guarantee everything. On April 6th, at 1:56 p.m. Eastern Time, Orion reaches 248,655 miles from Earth. At that moment, the 4 astronauts break a record that stood untouched for 56 years. Apollo 13. 1970. 3 astronauts with a crippled spacecraft, fighting for their lives, accidentally became the farthest humans from Earth in history. Wiseman and his crew beat them by 4,100 miles, deliberately, calmly, taking photos of the moon. Their final distance, 252,756 miles. For reference, light travels that distance in about 1.3 seconds. The signal from Orion to Houston, more than a second of delay. Every command, every word, spoken from a place no living person had reached in over half a century. And then comes the far side. The official name is the far side, not the dark side. It's not permanently dark. The sun lights it up. It's just never faced Earth. Not since the moon was formed. Never. Before Artemis II, no living person had ever seen it with their own eyes. Apollo astronauts flew near it, but on trajectories where the angle and timing never let you see the entire surface. On Artemis II, they see it. All of it. 7 hours. Thousands of photographs. And here's what they find. The far side of the moon looks completely different from the side we see every night. The side that faces us is partially covered by plains. Dark, smooth plains called Maria, meaning seas. formed by volcanic flows billions of years ago. The far side? Almost no Maria at all. Just craters. Endless craters. Everywhere. Why? Nobody fully knows. Maybe the far side's crust is thicker. Magma couldn't push through. Maybe Earth's gravity concentrated volcanic activity on the near side. Maybe it's a matter of thermal gradients we still don't understand. What's certain, the two faces of the moon are so different, they look like they belong to separate worlds. Wiseman stared down at the craters. The shadows. When sunlight hits the boundary between day and night on the surface, the terminator line, the shadows stretch long. Long shadows mean you can see every wrinkle, every pit, every edge. The surface suddenly looks alive. Victor Glover locked onto the geology, the craters, the layers, the impact trails.
I'm looking down and I'm seeing the history of the solar system. Every crater is an impact. Every impact has a date. The moon is a clock. You just have to know how to read it.
Then came the 40 minutes of silence. When Orion slid behind the moon, 2,000 kilometers of rock between them and Earth, there was no signal, no communication, no GPS. 4 people, alone, behind the moon, 252,000 miles from home. In Houston, in the science evaluation room, scientists, engineers, families, they waited. Just waited.
It was quiet around us. Not quiet from fear, just quiet. Like when you're so deep in a forest that you stop and realize nobody knows you're here.
And then came the solar eclipse. Nobody expected it to be that overwhelming. As Orion swept around the moon positioned itself exactly between the spacecraft and the sun. A total solar eclipse. From deep space. From Earth, total solar eclipses last 7 to 8 minutes at most. Maybe 10 under perfect conditions. From their position, 54 minutes of totality. 54 minutes where the moon completely blocked the sun. Around it, a corona, glowing, twisting, impossible. Wiseman looked at it, looked again, then said, "I don't think humanity has evolved to the point of being able to comprehend what we were looking at right now." But there's something stranger. The halo around the moon didn't fully match the models for the corona alone. Scientists still aren't certain whether what they captured is the corona, zodiacal light, dust from the early solar system, still glowing in deep space, or a combination of both. The photos were sent back, analyzed, debated. The answer is still not settled. And then, on the dark disk of the moon, lit only by reflected light from Earth, they saw something unexpected. 6 flashes, brief, bright, gone in an instant, meteorites hitting the moon, in real time, with their own eyes, not robots, not telescopes, their eyes. Hansen stopped photographing, just watched. The moon is being bombarded constantly. We just never get to be there to see it. Before the flight, Jeremy Hansen pulled Wiseman aside. "Hey, the 3 of us talked. We think we can actually do this." We talked to the science team. "Do what?" "Name a crater after Carol." Carol Wiseman, Reid's wife, died of cancer, 2020, in the middle of the solar eclipse, while floating behind the moon, while Earth had disappeared from the window, while they were farther from home than any living person before them. Wiseman learned that his wife would have a crater on the moon. "I thought it was the most beautiful thing I'd heard in my entire life." Glover described the moment afterward.
When Hansen said she was a bright spot, the actual crater is a bright spot because it's a new, fresh crater, that's when I realized I wasn't doing a good job of keeping my emotions to myself.
They named the crater Carol, named the other one Integrity, the name they'd given their Orion spacecraft. Names on the moon, permanently. On April 10th at 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time, Orion splashed down in the Pacific Ocean off San Diego. But the landing wasn't smooth sailing. The spacecraft's heat shield had a known issue discovered after Artemis the first engineers had worked on it, but never tested the fix with humans inside.
"Is the fireball supposed to be that big?"
Koch said when the hatch finally opened. She just screamed. Pure elation. You can't describe it. Wiseman asked for the ship's chaplain. He's not a religious man. But when he saw the cross on the officer's collar, a man he'd never met before in his life, he broke down. When they later asked Glover if he'd processed all of it, He laughed.
No, not yet.
Artemis Ascend was a test. Artemis III, likely 2027, will test docking with lunar landers in Earth orbit, and Artemis IV, 2028, is supposed to be the first lunar landing in 52 years. 2 astronauts. The Moon's South Pole, a region where temperatures drop to -423 degrees Fahrenheit. Permanent shadow. Unverified terrain. SpaceX and Blue Origin are racing to decide whose lander gets them there. Neither has been tested with humans. Neither currently has a working life support system. Artemis doesn't end here. It's just getting started. Before we finish, Wiseman said something that stuck with me. When asked what single thing he most wanted people to see from the mission, he didn't say the Earth-set photo, not the eclipse, not the record.
He said, "I want them to see this crew, because from the moment the boosters lit, we became best friends, and every one of us showed up for each other."
252,756 miles from Earth, behind the Moon. 4 people who became something more. If 4 people could find something that connected them in the most isolated place any human being has ever stood, maybe the most important thing Artemis II brought back isn't the photographs. Maybe it's proof that even in a place with no air, no sound, no Earth on the horizon, something in us remains deeply, stubbornly human.